I'm looking at a 3-foot toad in a sweater. That's a problem.
With the excellent The Walking Dead series, Telltale Games definitely hit a home run, and now they are back with another episodic adventure game based on the Fables comics, titled The Wolf Among Us. But can Telltale strike gold twice with this vastly different universe? Of course, this review for episode 1, titled Faith, won't contain any spoilers past the intro section of the game.
I guess Shoes by Cinderella would have been too obvious.
In The Wolf Among Us, you play as Bigby, more commonly known as the Big Bad Wolf, as you navigate through the fairy tale-filled sections of New York City. Your job as sheriff of Fabletown is to keep the other fables in line and prevent them from being caught by the mundane citizens, or Mundies. And straight away, if you are not familiar with the Fables comics, you will have no problems getting into The Wolf Among Us. In fact, it'll likely make you want to look them up as soon as you finish the first episode, because even though this universe is all about fairy tales, it is highly mature in its setting. The presentation of The Wolf Among Us is then fantastic. Aesthetically, the cel-shaded art style looks great, with character faces easily giving away emotions, even though you may just be talking to a giant frog. The story itself plays out largely as an investigation story, intertwined with all kinds of magical and mystic properties. Throughout, you can play Bigby as harshly as you wish, or instead attempt to give this dark and battered guy a heart of gold, and you will have to make plenty of tough decisions doing so, leading to entire characters being written out of the following episodes. Characters themselves range from practically any story you can think of, and come across as intriguing, mostly dark, and highly memorable. It is then easy to see the excellent writing and presentation are the main focus of The Wolf Among Us. The game truly shines when you are in the middle of a conversation with the citizens of Fabletown, with a limited amount of time to react in one of 4 different ways, and the game is quick to tell you that silence is a completely valid and probably sometimes smarter decision. Conversations then flow well and rarely ever feel artificial. At any moment, these conversations can be abruptly interrupted by either your doing or that of someone else in the room, and a chaotic fight will break out. These fights are quick and intense, and you will find creative ways to tear rooms apart during struggles which, well, thanks to the sturdy nature of the Fables, never end quickly. The action scenes in The Wolf Among Us are then highly enjoyable to watch, though simply watching will not be sufficient. The gameplay itself is a bit of a mixed bag though. The intense fights are great as they require you to quickly react to bottom prompts with great pacing and manage to grab you into the chaotic scenes, never boring and having a surprising amount of different ways they can play out, as you can often be completely battered and beaten as long as you succeed in one of the crucial points that will otherwise result in a game over. They essentially feel like well choreographed fights in a movie, forcing you to decide whether you want to throw your victim into a bookshelf or rather have him rest on the bed frame for a little while. But when it comes to the more point-and-click aspects of the game, the investigation scenes, The Wolf Among Us falls short. Although you have an inventory with gathered items, this never comes into play. The user interface works well and interacting with objects and items in the environment is easy enough to do, but the sheer linearity of it all makes it a little dull. Never will you have to figure out a puzzle or even deviate from the set path. You cannot backtrack into previous scenes, and the scenes that do give you room to walk around in are very limiting without any secrets to solve. As I mentioned earlier though, the focus is without any doubt on the great story and characters, and although it is difficult to see right now if there will be any meaningful character investment created later on, The Wolf Among Us is unlikely to let you down in story. In the end, Episode 1, or Faith, is an excellent first 2-hour or so long chapter in the Wolf Among Us story. The presentation is in every way fantastic, and they have managed to make this world of Fables come alive. If you are looking for a game that features many puzzles and gives you plenty of room to uncover its secrets, you are unlikely to find it here. Gameplay is greatly paced during the fight scenes, but not so much when you are given free roam. If you are, however, looking for a great universe with great story, characters and dialogue, well, you need not look further. With Episode 1, The Wolf Among Us is looking like it will be a fantastic episodic experience to play through. The Wolf Among Us, Episode 1, Faith, then gets a 8.5 out of 10.